about
Harvey Weinstein?
the background. Sorry,
Well,
I
no,
just.
no, I know that's what we're talking about, but what just
Oh,
happened or whatever?
Oh, is it Harvey? Harvey Weinstein, right? The film producer. It's kind of just come out in the last few days, or kind of the end of last week, that he has sexually harassed many, many, many women throughout the years.
Oh,
hmm.
okay.
I don't think I had heard of that news.
Oh, oh wow. Well, we have Hollywood in our backyard, so that kind of stuff makes the evening news. Maybe
Yeah,
that's why. But yeah,
definitely.
it's crazy. Like big actresses like Gwyneth Paltrow and Angelina Jolie, and from when they were just getting started. It's pretty
Oh,
crazy.
Wow.
wow.
And it's been going on, back then for like the last 25, 30 years.
And no one said
So
Hey,
anything.
yeah. And so finally people came out this last week, and then a whole bunch of people, it's kind of like the whole Bill Cosby thing. Now a whole bunch of women are coming out, and his own board fired him from his company.
wow,
Huh?
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Huh, that is,
It's, yeah, some pretty gross stuff.
yeah. Move on to the next one. So the story about Martinez from Lone Star case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, Based on her story, does her situation? Do you think her situation constitutes sexual harassment?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Do you think it's quid pro quo sexual harassment or hostile work environment or both?
Wasn't it more of a hostile work environment?
I think so, because it's kind of ongoing. If I
Yeah,
remember right, didn't quid pro quo say it's kind of like a more of a one-time thing?
Kind of like do this or you lose your job.
Yeah,
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 Yeah, I don't think it was like that.
yeah. That's right. It says that it was. She has evidence of hostile work environment. It may imply that there has been a quid pro quo since she was afraid of getting fired, but we don't
yeah.
really know that. So, from reading the note on sexual harassment, uh, do you think DeCoste? I don't know how to say his name. DeCoste
Sounds good.
got accurate advice when he called the council's office.
Yes.
So
It seems like it.
the lady said contact to Lone Star's EEO office, right?
Yeah. Because, I mean, in the other thing that we had to read, the note on like law of sexual harassment, didn't
Mm-hmm.
it say that especially supervisors or managers that know about things are required to
Yeah.
report, right?
Yeah,
Like if they don't, then they can hold the company liable.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. If the company doesn't do anything about it, then they're definitely liable.
Yeah.
It even said in there if they know or if they should know.
Oh,
So it didn't even say they have to know.
yeah, that's interesting.
Wow.
It was kind of sad though, because when he talked to
So
the person in the Lone Star Law office, it made it seem more like they were so worried about a lawsuit and not so concerned about their employee. I thought that was sad.
oh yeah, totally. That's a good point.
I think that's probably what it's really like, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you're right, but it was just sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was hoping that it would be more, you know, just it would be more focused on protecting the employee rather than, oh yeah, the law says this and we have to do this, you know.
Yeah.
So we kind of already answered this question, but why might a lawyer representing the company insist on instituting a formal investigator, investigatory process? Um, we were just talking about it. well, one of the reasons, if you guys know any others, that the company has to do something to prevent it. They're liable for it. So
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also really important that they investigate properly so they can determine if it really is happening.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
It's true or
sure
not.
there have been false reports too to try and, I don't know, get a boss out of there that they don't like or something. I don't know.
that's
But
true.
they definitely
That's a
need
good
to
point.
make sure that it's really happening.
Good point. Next question. How would you evaluate Jack DaCosta's opinion at this point? What do you think he should do? Or sorry, not opinion, options at this point. What do you think he should do?
Mm,
Jack?
Yeah, the guy that overheard the conversation.
It's so hard. It almost would have been better if he didn't talk to the girl first and if he just reported it. Because
Yeah.
now she's asking him not to. I don't know. I mean, I think he has to report it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he really, I mean, I guess he has the option, but not really.
Yeah.
So, can you guys think of any other options he might have besides report it or don't do anything? Is there a third option?
He could possibly talk, I can't remember the girl's name, but talk her into reporting it herself.
Yeah.
That way, the information she wants reported is.
Yeah, that's a good solution. I don't
I
know if
was
it would work,
thinking,
but
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I was thinking, I don't know if this is an option, but getting a second opinion
yeah,
yeah.
from another company lawyer or someone higher up
Yeah.
in the HR department
Or
to
even an
make sure,
outside law firm or something. Yeah.
yeah, just to make sure that he is, you know, explaining the situation correctly and going to the right people.
Yeah, that's a really good idea too.
Because I almost don't trust maybe isn't the right word. I just felt a little eerie about that conversation he had with the EEO office or the lawyer that he
Yeah.
talked to.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's like I said before, it just was so worried about covering the company and not concerned with the employee at all, which I guess is kind of the lawyer's job to do. But
Yeah. Next question. What would you explain? So if you did decide to report it, how would you explain that to, what conversation would you have with Julia?
I think he just needs to tell her and just say, I'm obligated. I'm sorry that I heard this, but I did, and I can't unhear it. And I'm obligated to report this for your safety, not just the company, but also for your sake, your safety.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that's a great way to approach it. So to wrap this part up, what would you, when you do decide to report it, what would you say to the EEO office? What specifically would you tell them?
I think if it was me, I would just tell them exactly what I heard.
Yeah,
Throw in the boss's name, but just say, this is what she said, and just leave it at that. I think it's important to leave out your own opinions and your own inferences and just state the facts of what you actually heard.
yeah, I agree with that. That's pretty straightforward. All right.
Just out of curiosity, would you guys like make them know that she does not want you to report it, or would you just leave it at telling them what you heard?
I would tell them that. I would tell them also about the conversation I had with Julia.
Yeah, I think that would be important too.
I think you just need to disclose everything, and it protects. Well, first of all, not to be selfish, but it protects you if you don't leave anything undisclosed. That
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
That's true.
that way they can't come back at you and say you didn't, you held this information. So you need to disclose everything.
Yeah, definitely.
True, yeah.
But part 3, let's see. This part is a little weird. It says, I guess I didn't see this part when I was preparing. That's weird. It says to us, we don't have enough people to do it, but assign each of your team members a role, and someone would take not the position, but the viewpoint of the potential victim of harassment, the accused harasser, a bystander, and legal counsel. So basically, each of us would kind of look from the viewpoint of Julia first, and then her boss, which is the accused harasser, the bystander, which is DeCoste or whatever his name is, and the legal counsel, which is the person DeCoste talked to. So given those roles, what are the most important things you would want to see in the new policies and procedures that the organization is formulating to govern sexual harassment issues? So let's start with like a potential victim. What policies and procedures would you want to see from the organization that to protect you in a sexual harassment issue?
In like if you filed one, or what do you mean in a issue?
So, for example, if I'm reading this correctly, if I were in Julia's situation, I would want to be protected. I would first of all want to be assured that everything's confidential, because she definitely doesn't want the news to get to her spouse.
Right.
So I would want to see a policy that protected confidentiality.
I would want like your job protected.
Yeah, definitely. Because she was afraid of getting fired if she said anything,
Right.
So.
And like an easier way to report things like that, because if it had been easier for her to report it from the beginning, she probably would have done it already, and maybe it wouldn't have gotten so out of hand.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely all good things. Any others you guys can think of from that point of view?
Nothing comes to my mind.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything.
I think those are really good points. From an accused harasser point of view, I think I would want I guess we should keep in mind that someone accused might not feel like they were harassed, that they were guilty.
Yeah, Yeah, that's a good point. He does almost feel guilty.
Yeah. So if I were
Wait, you're talking about
accused,
Jack, right? Wait, did you say Jack? The guy that
no,
hurt him?
no, sorry, we're on so the accused
Oh,
harasser
sorry.
would be her boss in this situation.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I heard that wrong. Okay.
So if I were to put myself in a situation where I was accused of being a harasser,
Yeah.
I would hope that someone would investigate it thoroughly
Right.
to, be on my side to point out that, look, I'm being accused, but I might be innocent here.
Yeah,
So,
guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think confidentiality is important again for him.
Yeah,
definitely.
because what if the person is not guilty but other people know that he was investigated? That
Mhm.
will put mistrust for other people in him.
Yeah, that's a great point. And then bystander. So this would be Jack. What would he want to see policies and procedures wise from his standpoint?
Definitely confidential reporting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a big one, I think. There would be encourage people more to report things if they see them or hear them.
Probably a little bit more training on how to handle that situation
Oh,
because
yeah.
he really didn't know what to do.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
And even for Julia too, if they had employee training on this, then she would know exactly what to have done when it first started happening. It's almost like
Exactly.
she was so worried about losing her job that she didn't even do anything for so long, and now it's getting bad, and that's sad.
Yeah. Good points. Any others on that one?
Well, I think if they were more open about what they're going to do during the investigation,
Oh yeah.
then people probably wouldn't be as scared to report things also.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So again, like that training would
Mm-hmm.
be able to help explain that for them.
Good point. And then the last one is legal counsel. So from the standpoint of the lawyer, what policies and procedures would you want to see the organization put into place?
Well, I think the training would be beneficial for them too. And then the employees would know exactly what they need to do. And I think, a policy or procedures on how to investigate, who's going to investigate, who they're going to report to, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There should probably definitely be a third party, an outside source that investigates those kinds of things.
Yeah, great points. All right. Any other last points on that part?
Not for me.
I don't know. I don't have anything.
Okay. So this is the wrap up part, and I'm just going to read the actual outcome of the Lone Star case real quick.
Okay.
When Jack called corporate counsel, he forgot about caller ID. The lawyer used the information he gave her to figure out the people he was talking about. She contacted the Lone Star EEO, which launched a formal investigation. The EEO tried hard to get Martinez to cooperate. French denied all charges, claiming that Martinez had made up her story to protect herself from pending layoffs. DeCoste was asked for evidence, but he didn't have any. Julia Martinez's husband found out what was going on, beat up Julia, and forced her to quit. French survived the investigation with only a bruised reputation. He blamed everything on DeCoste for calling corporate counsel. There was so much animosity between DeCoste and French that DeCoste left the company after 3 months. So that's pretty rough.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. That's
So the
awful.
one person that was guilty was standing at the end. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
that was
sad.
not the right way to handle that.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have been so different if she would have just reported it and gone to them. Wow. That's too bad. That's
Well,
depressing.
Yeah.
I think it's terrible how just there was no confidentiality at all.
Yeah.
No one was protected.
Yeah. That is crazy.
Like DeCoste should have been his identity should have been protected.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Julia's husband should not have found out.
No. The boss should have never found out who reported it either.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
He probably would have figured it out, but
Maybe.
I mean, he shouldn't have been told who was involved, you know?
Yeah.
It's
That's
just crazy.
Sad. That's not a Hollywood ending.
So there's a bunch of questions to wrap this up, but we've actually answered and discussed most of them. Probably all of them, actually. Just about, what policies and procedures were in place, what training might have improved the situation. Would training have been helpful to Jack? And we've already said yes, definitely. So I think we've discussed everything, but that's a really sad ending.
Yeah, that's awful.
Wow.
Nice work, guys.
All right. Did you just jump on, Brig?
Yeah, I did. I just got here at the end of that.
Oh, okay. No worries. Were you able to read the Lone Star case?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Okay. We'll
Pretty
just. So we mostly discussed that and, policies and procedures that would have helped all the parties involved.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I just read the ending of what actually happened in the case.
Yeah.
And it turns out that the corporate counsel, even though DeCoste is his name, the guy that reported it.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't give any names, they saw his caller ID and they used that information to figure out who he was talking about.
Uh-huh.
And so basically they launched a full investigation. Martinez didn't really cooperate. The boss denied all charges.
Yeah.
And Martinez's husband found out, beat her up, and forced her to quit.
What?
Yeah. And DeCoste had such bad blood with French, the guy that was the harasser.
Yeah.
He left the company 3 months later.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah. So we really just discussed things that would have prevented all that. So,
yeah.
Terrible ending.
Yeah,
So,
that's crazy. I wonder how long ago that was. It didn't have a date on it, huh?
No.
I don't know.
It's pretty nuts.
I think it's crazy that the legal counsel did that. Just they handled it so poorly, I feel like.
Yeah.
Well, the original publication that it says the case was inspired by an actual incident
Mm-hmm.
based or described by Mary Rowe, and it's a book and she wrote that in 1996. So sometime before that,
Yeah.
but I don't know how long.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it
All
is.
right. Well, any final comments or questions or anything?
Not for me.
Nope.
All right. Well, I will stop the broadcast.